Women are allowed in Formula One today, so why hasn't a single one sat in the driver's seat in over 30 years? And here's where it starts to get shocking. Formula One kicked off in 1950, a sport built on speed, danger, and pure adrenaline. Since then, 786 drivers have taken the wheel, chasing the dream of checkered flags and podium glory. But of those 786, only 5 have ever been women. Just 5. Think about that for a second. That's 0.6%, less than 1%. That tiny number tells you everything about the barriers women have faced in motorsport for decades. It's not just about skill or talent. The deck was stacked before they even got in the car. From closed doors to blatant sexism, the history of women in F1 reads like a series of near misses and heartbreaks. And yet, each of those 5 women managed to break through, even if only briefly, showing the world that they belonged on the same circuits as the legends we idolize today. It's wild, right? And that's just the beginning. The story of women in F1 isn't just numbers, it's battles, barriers, and brilliance that the sport has mostly ignored. Let's start with the trailblazer, Maria Teresa de Filippis. She wasn't just the first woman in F1, she was a pioneer, a driver willing to risk everything on circuits dominated by men. In 1958, she raced in just 3 Grand Prix, and her best finish? 10th place. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. She was flat out denied entry to the French Grand Prix that year. The race director's words? The only helmet a woman should wear is the one at the hairdresser's. Can you imagine that? Being barred from the track because of something as ridiculous as gender. Yet she kept pushing, showing grit that would inspire generations to come. Fast forward a bit to Lella Lombardi, probably the most famous female F1 driver for a reason. She's the only woman in history to actually score points in a Grand Prix. The 1975 Spanish GP, a race cut short by tragedy when a car went over the barriers, killing 4 spectators. Lella got half a point for her effort. Half a point. And it still counts as history. It was brief, it was extraordinary, and it proved women could compete on the same stage as men. Then there's Davina Galica, the only British female F1 driver. Here's a fun fact. She was also captain of the British Olympic skiing team. Yes, skiing. She was a multi-sport athlete, testing her limits in completely different arenas before trying Formula One. That's sheer athletic versatility. Desiree Wilson had just a single F1 race to her name. One shot, one chance. And sadly, that was it. Imagine what could have been if she'd gotten a proper run with a competitive team. Finally, Giovanna Amati, the last woman to step into an F1 car in 1992. 3 races, 3 failed qualifications. She was quickly replaced by a young up-and-comer named Damon Hill. The same Damon Hill who went on to become world champion in 1996. The irony? Brutal. Yet Amati's courage to even sit in that car, knowing the odds, deserves respect. Each of these women broke barriers, even when the odds were stacked ridiculously high. And each of their stories is a reminder of just how far women had to fight for a seat at the table. And here's where things get frustrating. Giovanna Amati's short stint in 1992 didn't just end her career, it reinforced a stereotype that women couldn't handle F1. Teams became more risk-averse, less willing to gamble on female talent. Suddenly, the doors slammed shut. Opportunities vanished, and for 3 decades, not a single woman sat in a race car on the starting grid. It wasn't about skill, it was about perception, timing, and a sport hesitant to challenge its own history. Fast forward to 2014 to 2015, and you have Susie Wolff driving in Williams's practice sessions. No race starts, just seat time to prove herself. And yes, the marriage controversy with Toto Wolff made headlines, but that shouldn't overshadow her skills. She transitioned into leadership, eventually taking the helm of the F1 Academy. Today, her role is pivotal, nurturing the next generation of female drivers and showing that opportunity isn't just about driving fast, it's about building the pathway. And let's not sugarcoat it. F1 is brutal on the body. G-forces push drivers to extremes. 1G is your normal weight. 4G is when things start blacking out, and drivers can hit up to 6G on the track. Remember Max Verstappen's insane 67G crash with Lewis Hamilton? That kind of strain requires immense neck strength and endurance. A 19-year-old woman might not naturally have the same upper body strength as a man, and that's a barrier, sure. But it's not an excuse. Women dominate other extreme sports, and with proper training, it's achievable. F1 is the pinnacle. Only 20 drivers in the world get a shot each season. Talent alone doesn't cut it. The feeder systems are male-dominated, and motorsport culture has historically excluded women. Even a phenomenal female driver has to fight just to get noticed, competing against a system built for men. It's not just racing, it's navigating politics, sponsorship, and centuries of habit. Here's the thing. Women's sports have been exploding everywhere. WNBA, women's soccer, even motorsports like rallying and karting are seeing record interest. So why has F1 lagged? Part of its media visibility. Female drivers rarely got airtime, rarely featured in stories, and rarely became role models. And without role models, it's hard to inspire the next generation. Representation matters. Seeing someone like you behind the wheel can change everything. Enter the W Series, founded in 2018, with a simple goal: give women a zero-cost pathway into motorsport. Drivers didn't have to worry about travel, accommodation, or race fees, racing modified F3 cars over 6 events. Jamie Chadwick dominated immediately, winning the inaugural season, proving she belonged. Then COVID hit, 2 years of inactivity. When the series returned in 2022, Chadwick came back and crushed the competition again. Prize money grew to $1.5 million, but the series still struggled to bridge the gap to male F3 competition. Good intentions, yes. Perfect execution? Not quite. Jamie Chadwick is unquestionably talented, a level above most of the W Series field. But her path wasn't perfect. She struggled in F3 previously and primarily raced GT cars, not single-seaters. That's the hard truth. Dominance in the W Series doesn't automatically translate to F1. The sport demands early specialization in single-seaters, years of karting, and adaptation to ultra-high-speed machines. Even the best W Series drivers face an uphill battle when entering the male-dominated ladder. At the end of the day, the W Series couldn't fully bridge the gender gap. The cars weren't competitive with the male ladder, segregation limited exposure, and prize money wasn't invested in long-term development. By June 2023, the series went into administration. Book closed. A valiant effort, yes. But it highlighted how difficult it is to break barriers in a sport that moves at the speed of F1 itself. Just when it seemed like progress had stalled, Susie Wolff stepped in with the F1 Academy. This isn't just a women-only series. It's about integration. Top junior teams are involved, giving young female drivers real seat time against male counterparts. No isolation, no hand-holding. Development-focused, pushing talent to its limits. The goal is clear. Nurture drivers in a real competitive environment where they can truly measure themselves, learn, and grow. This is the first time women have had a program like this in F1 history, and it could change everything. Right now, names like Abbi Pulling and Megan Gilkers are leading the charge. Pulling races with Rodin Carlin and is part of the Alpine Academy. Gilkers balances driving with a trackside engineering role at Aston Martin. They know the challenges, funding struggles, fierce competition, and the constant pressure to perform. Backup plans are essential. Luck, timing, and opportunity all matter. Realistically, making F1 is still a mountain to climb. But with the Academy, they finally have a chance to prove they belong on the same ladder as the men. Here's the brutal reality. Getting to F1 costs millions. Karting, junior single-seaters, national and international series, it all adds up. Years of funding, sponsorship deals, and connections are essential just to be seen. Some drivers literally pay their way into teams. This pay driver system is unforgiving, and it hits women even harder because motorsport sponsorship historically favors men. Talent matters, yes, but money moves faster than skill in many cases. Without financial backing, even the best drivers can be stuck watching from the sidelines, proving that in F1, the wallet sometimes weighs more than the helmet. It hasn't just been about speed or skill. Sponsorship bias has kept women out, and teams often perceive female drivers as higher risk. Generations of neglect reinforced the status quo. But now, those barriers are cracking. With programs like the F1 Academy, attitudes are shifting, and opportunities are finally opening. The signs are all there. Visibility is rising, thanks to F1's Netflix hit Drive to Survive, and a growing social media presence that highlights talent over gender. The F1 Academy is providing structured pathways, letting women compete directly with men in competitive settings. Realistically, we could see a female driver in F1 within 5 to 10 years. With the right development, funding, and visibility, it isn't a question of if, it's a matter of when. The pool of talent is deep, waiting for its moment.